Welcome to the POMcast with Steve Willis, your independent, unbiased, and unbought source for Ole Miss athletics. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Right here on Wednesday, November 25th, 2020. I'm your host, Stephen Willis. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have a great weekend. I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. This will be our last show of the week, not because of the Thanksgiving holiday, but because I am relocating starting tomorrow morning and I will not have internet until Saturday morning, so I cannot do a podcast. We are moving into the palatial Central Florida studios, and this is all moving forward. It might be moving forward at a snail's pace for some of you, but it is moving forward. I want to thank everybody that has listened over the last couple of weeks. The numbers have been quite impressive, especially for an audio podcast, so thank you very much. And this will be and replace the Friday episode of What to Expect from Mississippi State. Normally this game is on Thursday. It's supposed to be on Thursday this year, but it's on Saturday at 3 o'clock on the SEC Network. Again, that's 3 o'clock Saturday on the SEC Network, in the same time slot as the Iron Bowl. So there's so much to get into. We've seen a lot of Ole Miss this year. We kind of know what they are. We kind of know what Mississippi State is. And this game, I think, will come down to a couple of things. The first thing is the tempo. What Georgia did Saturday against 49 scholarship players not running tempo was essentially coaching malpractice. A chance to, instead of because Mississippi State, as you could see, they wore down in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was obvious to everyone. The offense didn't have the bite. The defense didn't have the bite. All the flaws had been found. But it's 24-24 in the fourth quarter. If you run tempo, that wear down probably happens midway through the third, beginning of the third, because their lack of depth is more exasperated. So the tempo will be the number one contributing factor Saturday. Ole Miss, as you know, runs just their based offense lightning fast. They do a fast offense, just period. It's part of who they are. It's part of their identity. So they're going to run tempo, while Mississippi State wants to slow it way down. And what they're going to try and do is affect the quarterback. Mississippi State has okay defensive linemen and okay linebackers, but their secondary is young. So they're going to try and protect that by affecting the quarterback. So maybe some bad decisions gets made. You can't ask those guys to cover for a long period of time. If Ole Miss can pass protect and play with their tempo, this game is a wrap. Period. There's really no way around that. Mississippi State can't score with Ole Miss. Their offense is probably next, I don't know, Vanderbilt is the level I'm thinking of at the moment. They're going to get about 300 to 400 yards of offense. Maybe score 21 to 28 points. They won't do what South Carolina did because South Carolina was better and they had weapons on offense. Kevin Harris and Shi Smith were just a cut above offensively. So you look at that, and that is the key for Ole Miss. To play with the right lightning fast tempo and avoid letting the quarterback be affected. For Mississippi State, the opposite is true. They want to play slow. They want to play methodical. They want to protect their roster. Get their depth to where if all of a sudden they start fading midway through the fourth quarter because of their numbers, you're in the game or possibly winning the game in the fourth quarter to overcome the rally that is going to happen. Obviously, they want a game played in the low 20s and teens. That is their recipe for success. If Ole Miss scores 30 points, it's over. They can't score 30 points. Now, you saw flashes, but, I mean, let's be honest with this. Dropping 8 and against a Georgia team that Florida has already exposed their linebackers in coverage, of course it was going to work. The whole goal was to be patient. But Kirby wanted to play his man coverage. That's his comfort zone. That's what he knows. And Mississippi State burned him twice once they jumped into man coverage. They hit him on Lucy routes, which for people to understand, it's like a slot receiver running a route to the opposite corner or above. It's a crossing route, but you're gaining space while you're doing it. You're not running to the post, you're running to the other corner. It's what LSU made a living on last year. Jamar Chase running those routes caught numerous touchdowns. Just because you can't ask your team or any team to cover a receiver for 5 seconds. Nobody can do that. So that's what I expect the high overarching theme of this game to be is the tempo and who can win that. If Mississippi State inflicts their will, their tempo on Ole Miss, it's going to be a closer game. If the tempo is Ole Miss based and frantic, Ole Miss is going to win the game by a good number. It's one of those things where if it's a blowout, Ole Miss won the game. If it's a close game, either one can win it. But that's the way that goes. All right, POMcast, What Will Mississippi State Do episode right here on Positively Ole Miss. I'm Stephen Willis. Stick around.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
We spend 6 hours a day in front of a screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at active4life.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with good information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA helped him and my mom get the home they'd always wanted. My grandpa's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one of his battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I followed in their footsteps and served with pride. And now that I'm out of the military, the GI Bill's helping me with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA has served us all.
POMcast, welcome back. Hey, if you want to follow the show or participate in the future, Follow us at The Stephen Willis and at Ole Positively. Also, you can join us on Facebook at facebook.com/POMcast. Join our Facebook group at Positively Ole Miss. You can hit us up on YouTube at Positively Ole Miss. Hit the bell for notifications so you'll know when we're streaming in the future. We're going to be a video podcast. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be something like nobody has ever done on the Ole Miss coverage unit or whatever. And if you like Twitch, Positively Ole Miss, all one word on Twitch. We're also on that platform as well. If you enjoy the audio, you can hit us up at Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. Those, of course, are the major podcatchers. As far as minor podcatchers like Podbean and things like that, we're on that as well. So thank you for listening. We're here for you. We're going to provide an unbiased and unbought view at the program as a whole. We're going to cover Ole Miss sports in a way that is always focused on what we need to do to accomplish our goal, not what we didn't do. And basically, we're going to have a lot of fun. I mean, it's unbiased, unbought commentary. I think journalism has been corrupted by money, and what has happened, especially in sports journalism, is the layers between money and content has gotten so thin that content relies on money, and all of a sudden you're doing content because that will make you money. Not because of what needs to be told. Not because of the truth. The most biased thing in journalism today is money. That is the cause. If you don't understand that, you haven't been paying attention for 4 years. And that influences sports journalism as well. So we're going to provide, that's what unbought means. Now we're going to sell ads in the future, but we're going to sell them for not much at all. We're not here to make a ton of money. We're just here to pay for subscriptions and keep the lights on. I mean, that's all we want to do. So we're going to be honest about what is happening. And we're going to provide a level of insight thanks to my superior resume inside the program. And we're going to find people that can give even more insight and fill any blind spots that I might have. I mean, we're probably 5 months away from just a game changer in Ole Miss sports. It's going to be unlike anything anybody has seen on Ole Miss. I mean, you've got the season, and that is fantastic. But what else do you have after that? Nothing. Newspapers are dying, and when the Clarion Ledger went away, that void got filled by profiteers. And people basically only there to get your money, not only there to cover the program. So that's what we offer. We're completely free to the user. We'll never ask you to go to the second location. This will be absolutely fantastic. And I just have the means and the resources to get this done. It's not that I'm anything special. And I don't claim to be anything special. But circumstances have rolled up to where I have the means and the opportunity to do this for you. To protect the fan base. And this could be the one thing that I do in my life that means the most. So, anyway, we are in What Will Mississippi State Do the episode this week. We talked up in the first segment about how tempo will rule the day. On defense, I expect Ole Miss to rush at least 4. Everybody's like, well, what about the rush 3, drop 8? Well, the problem with that is Ole Miss lacks on defensive line. They will do some of that. But the rushing 4 gives them a chance to get home. You can mix things up. You start with a 3-man front. So you take Ryder Anderson and T. Tisdale at the end and Katie Hill at nose guard. Those 3 are always rushing. But the point is to make the 4th rush, you don't know where it's coming from. It could be Otis Reese. It could be Sam Williams. It could be Dean Leonard. It could be Keydron Smith. It could be Momo Sonogo or Lakeith Henry. I think that's the point. And it will cause a freshman quarterback to speed up a little bit. And eventually it'll work because the offense is going to wear down because they can't substitute. So the offense, if they play fast and do a high play count game, all of a sudden you can tee off a little bit on defense. And I think that is the goal. They're not going to play a lot of man defense, although I think they will play some. Because if you can affect the quarterback, that will give you freedom to do it. Now, what we need is like Marche Green playing cornerback, intercepting the ball, and pick six in the cotton ball. That's what we need. But, I mean, this could be the game that Dean Leonard gets his first interception. The goal of this is to compress. I mean, we've talked about the 10, 15-yard box from defense. But the goal is to compress. If you don't have to worry about a deep threat, then you can attack and you can do exotic things. Even if you do a 4-man rush, you're still forcing a quarterback to read what's going on. And Mississippi State is going to score in this game. They're going to get first downs. But we're better against the pass than we are against the run. I mean, that's just a fact. That comes down from the fact that our defensive line is, let's say, average. And our linebackers aren't made for this scheme. But that's the way it will look defensively. And that's the way they're going to have to attack Mississippi State. Mississippi State is going to run the same plays they always run. We joke about Phil Longo having 20 plays, 28 plays, or whatever it was. Mike Leach does that as well. They don't try to get you on formations. They're going to use motion from time to time to see if we're in man coverage. They're trying to identify the coverage to their freshman quarterback. But exotic split field coverages, I mean, it could work. Especially now with Otis Reese. I expect a little bit of acclimation to happen to game speed. But the best player on the Ole Miss defense is now eligible to play with the Ole Miss defense. So the defense, by process of elimination, gets better. If you replace the 12th best defender with the first best defender, obviously you get better. As we talked about earlier with Boot Camp the defense is kind of centered around the Buck, Sam Williams, and the star, who we think is going to be Otis Reese. I think a good number of plays, Otis Reese is going to be blitzing the quarterback. It will not surprise me for him to get a sack this weekend. But he is extremely physical. He likes contact. And he has a chance to be really good, and especially in this do-over season. I know everybody's making jokes about the NCAA waiting until 3 games left to clear him, which it would have been 2 games left plus the bowl game. Now it's 3 games plus the bowl game. But those 4 weeks serve as a spring practice with the bowl practices and everything else too. We're talking about 6 weeks of starter practice time for him to come into spring practice next year, which I expect it to be pseudo-normal. And in the fall, he gets to step in as a true leader of this defense. There's reps that have been taken. Now, everybody is upset about the past. I get that. But those reps are valuable, and they'll help us in 2021. You also have to remember Tysheem Johnson is coming in then, as well as getting Jacob Springer, who is an all-conference player from the American. He'll step in and be our probably starting free or strong safety. Although he might be star. Jacob Springer might move into star because that's kind of what he played at Navy. And Otis Reese will move into strong safety and play the Jonathan Haynes role. With A.J. Finley, who is quite good against the pass, suspect at best against the run, playing free safety. So we have a chance to have the middle of the field kind of taken care of. We need to go out and find a linebacker, obviously. We're set on pass rushing, and we need defensive linemen. All right, segment 3, Positively Ole Miss POMcast coming up. Stick around.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on, answer it already! Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive. A message from Florida's trusted choice independent insurance agents.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis. I just want you to stick around a little longer. We're going to get back to the podcast right after these messages.
Tonight, nearly 40,000 veterans across the country are homeless. These men and women have pledged to serve our nation, and now we must serve them. Landlords across the country have helped make significant progress in reducing veteran homelessness by making housing available, but there is more that we can do to bring our veterans home. Visit www.va.gov/homeless to see how you can get involved. And if you are a veteran and you are experiencing homelessness, please call 877-4AID-VET. Thank you.
POMcast. Stephen Willis right here on Positively Ole Miss. Thanks for joining us. We kind of do what we can to make sure that you are up to date with what you need. So that's pretty cool. Normally we do the weather report on Friday. But since this game since we're not doing a show until then, we'll do it now. So it's going to be a little bit subject to change. The high should be in the 50s, probably 59, 58, somewhere in there. 10% chance of rain with a chance of rain later. So we might see some second half drizzle, but it should start out pretty nice. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 and east northeast at 5 miles an hour at night. So it's gotten a lot better as the week moved on, but that's the weather report for the game. I don't see it raining during the daytime. A 3 o'clock kickoff. It means the game should end sometime around 7. I think it kind of fits. So there is that. If you are traveling for Thanksgiving, if you are visiting people, please be safe. As much as you can, follow social distancing, wear a mask, things like that, to prevent what could be a horrible spread. I mean, this is set up to be a giant super spreader event. And selfishly doing it could knock out bowl games. So please be careful with that. Also, the Justin Reed Classic and the Memphis game at Ole Miss has been postponed as Ole Miss has shut down basketball operations until December 7th because of the coronavirus. It goes back to what I said about basketball. It was set up to be catastrophic with us having a spike and the games being played indoors. It was always going to be a problem. Let's hope that gets better and kind of move on as that goes. The first little bit of the vaccine should be available in December. If you're high risk and able to, I recommend that you take it. For the rest of us, should be sometime around April. And if the vaccine gets high use and is highly effective, we should be back to some semblance of normal by next football season. So that's always the goal. That's what we're doing. People that complain about what we're doing but not willing to take steps to mitigate what we're doing is the reason this is lasting so long. If you have a problem with the mitigation, handle your business with what they're asking you to do. If you're not doing that, you lose the right to bitch about anything that's going on prevention-wise, because they're doing that in anticipation of you not doing what you need to do. So that is a chicken and the egg situation. Egg. But I do hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving and enjoy the football this week. Barring some crazy test on Friday, the game's going to get played. And I mean, it should be interesting. I mean, it just should. Once we get settled and get to see how it goes. Lane Kiffin versus Mike Leach. Baylor offense versus Air Raid. Defense, Michigan versus San Diego State. Good for Joey Dunn, by the way. Kind of very secondarily coming back into the Egg Bowl and becoming a storyline again where he was for over a decade. So good for him. But Mr. No Socks Joey Dunn. But as we've told you, there will be no show on Thursday or Friday. The next time we will see you probably will be the We've Got Notes after the Egg Bowl. We are headed down to the Palatial Central Florida studio. It is all done. We closed yesterday. It is currently our possession. That was pretty cool. Couple of steps left to go, and we'll just have life digged. Period. We're almost there. There's only a couple of things that need to be done, and part of that is, neither one of it is money related. It's all getting detached from healthcare and selling this house, which we have already sold. Once we close on it, it's gone as well. So we're almost there. I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. Get nice and full. Eat turkey sandwiches for 2 days. And enjoy all the football that is just bound to happen. But until that, we've got notes. I've been Stephen Willis. This has been the POMcast, and I've really enjoyed doing that. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.